Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, August 27th, 2026. How is everybody? Good news this morning. My air conditioning has been fixed. My hair is all wonky. Gabriel, howdy. How are you? They came promptly like they said they would, and got me all fixed up. So that was nice. Yeah, yeah. It was 86 degrees in here yesterday afternoon. So it was you're almost getting back to normal, still lost to unpack from the move. I don't envy that. Moving's tough. The only thing moving is good for is realizing what you do and don't need and what you don't want to move again, right? Got some wonky hair going on. Here we go. Makes you want to get rid of things. Do I need to keep hang on to this for the next 15 years? Probably not. That was the one minor bright spot in moving for me. I guess, gosh, it's going on almost 2 years ago now. But get rid of stuff, clean up, realize what's important. All right. Today we've got a couple of pens to repair. Not a lot, but that's okay. I did like well over 500 ink samples yesterday. Kathleen, how are you? And I did not finish them all. So I still have more to do, but then there's tomorrow. So I'm hoping tomorrow I will be able to get caught up. We got another shelving unit. What's up, nerds? The Brian McQueen. Yeah, you make me laugh. We got another shelving unit came today. We're supposed to get two, so I can't really do anything until I get the other one. Because we have really reached the limits of space here, and tomorrow we're going to be moving things around. It's going to be a mess. So anybody who stops by, I know there's one old friend of ours stopping by tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to either get it done before he gets here or not. I don't know. It's going to be crazy, but we think we got a plan in place. But lots cooking today. We ordered up today. I won't say what it is. I'll leave you hanging because I'm that way. We did order up today a fresh exclusive pen that we are going to have made for us. So we are excited about that. It's coming together. Maybe a little bit better than we thought. We hope to have a prototype actually in our hands quite soon. And that'll be exciting. It'll be fun to start over that process again. We had done exclusives before with Franklin Christoph and Edison and Delta and Retro and probably somebody else I'm forgetting. A couple with each, pretty much. So we're gonna start doing that again, and it'll be fun. Just something different. Something different. But that, and then there's a new pen that was announced a couple days ago that I can't talk about until the 8th, which is pretty cool. I dig it. And another thing I can't talk about until September 1st that was announced today, which is pretty awesome, and fingers crossed, put you all on the wait list. Yeah, I think you guys have been real loyal, and I appreciate it. And y'all will get first crack at what's happening. We're going to start small and then work our way up. I think we're starting with 25 units, and then we'll probably get at least one or two more batches, I would think, after that. But I mean, maybe nobody likes it. Maybe nobody likes what we picked out, and we're the only ones, and and I don't know. So. I don't want to order 100 units and then find out that like 15 people want it, So, but we'll as soon as we get a prototype, we'll start talking about it. The initial production might take. I think we're looking October, November. But we're getting rod stock ordered right now, and as soon as that comes in, a prototype will be made, and that will be pretty quick. So. Hopefully within a couple weeks. So we'll see. I hate to tease you. Lisa hates it when I tease her with stuff. But it is what it is. Because I can't say anything. So anyway, it's exciting. We're excited. It'll be good. What do we got today to work on? So I am going to. So funny thing. So yesterday we're cleaning up those Esterbrookes, right? And I realized that I was missing, if I have models B, A, and H for all 6 colors, I was missing 4 in green and red. Oddly enough, I had the hardest to find size in green. I had the H and not the B and the A. And in red, I think I have the A, which is the second hardest to find size, but not the B and not the H. And I said to myself, well, I need to look and see if I have any of those in that collection that I bought last year. And sure enough, I found it's kind of ugly, but maybe it will clean up. A green B. And when I went digging in my parts bin, I found a red H without the section. So we're going to look for a section today, and we'll see if we can at least fill 2 of those holes. I did find a cap for a red B, but no barrel yet. So I'll keep looking for that. So let's take a look. We got a 51 vac we're going to work on today. We got this Duofold we talked about yesterday with the date code on it, which is kind of funky. Here is the green. And these are the pre-1940 clips, so we got the open holes. And I'm not differentiating between the different variations. I just want one of each. But it's got heavily stained barrel, so I don't know if that's going to come off or that is what it is. We'll see. But we have this example, which is great. And this little guy is great. Little model H. Actually, which one of these? This one actually has the later imprint, which typically these pens have the earlier, more slanted imprint. But this is clearly an H barrel. And it matches. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there was crossover. Who knows? It's not enough to make me say it's a mismatch, because we just don't know. We don't know what happened. So if I can find that, I got 2 pens there. So this is what we're going to work on today. And I am, and maybe I just ought to do this first. While I'm waiting for these after I've disassembled these. I've got Lisa's pens to clean, and I've got a pen of mine to clean, and that will get them off the bench, and then maybe back into rotation again. So that's what I got cooking today. So we got a 51. Gray knob, huh? 1945. This one needs some serious help. The nib is really kind of a problem. So we're going to have to knock it out. Oh, we don't have a, is there not a, oh, this could be fun. Oh, there's no J-bar in it. It's pliable, but who knows how old that is. Looks like it might have had a lucky curve on it at some point, and they cut it off, an old style. But we got to fix that nib, so we're going to soak that. I hope that comes off. That just looks ugly. Well, that's all destroyed. And this, of course, doesn't have anything in it. But finding those slim sections is really difficult. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now let's see how bad this 51 is. Well, that came out super easy. Almost don't need a tool for that. Yeah, we'll say going to DC really accelerated a lot of our plans. And our commitments. Which is fine. But I've been trying to move at a certain pace, and oh, nice and nasty. Omaha, how's it going? This looks like it could be a nice 51. I'm not so certain about this dual fold here. It's probably a waste of my time, but I am much better now that it is. I mean, it's literally 12, 13 degrees cooler than it was yesterday in this office. Now I get home and then I like on Wednesdays I try to. Oh, that's that. Wednesdays I ride, and I just I don't know how I did it, but I did get 20 miles on the trainer last night, so that was like maybe a miracle. But Monday I had no energy. Yesterday I had no. Tuesday I had no energy. Apparently, just a capacitor. There was a capacitor problem. Did I get the nib out of the Duofold? Does it have a star? I haven't gotten it out yet. I suppose I should. Well, I'm going to soak it first here. I'm really hoping it does, because otherwise it's going to be. I need to take it out anyway because the tines are kind of wonky. This pellet cup looks. Isn't it a hard rubber section? Yeah, I mean it is, but it's already discolored. It's not going to get any worse. Okay. Yeah, I just want to get some of the ink. Todd Ebersprocher reached out to you last night to put a little one-page thing together with David's photo and a little about him. He's going to put it on the registration table at the SF show. Oh, nice. All right. It's black. Money survey says. No star. No star. I'll set up. Looks like it's time for some fresh. What the hell? I'll just throw it all in there. There we go. The Dr. G cam. Yes. Yeah, pretty much all of it leaked. I'm not even going to tell them about it.
Brought your box and some bubble wrap.
I like the kiss.
Hey, everybody. Oh, it's the Brian McQueen, not the Brian
It's the
McQueen.
Brian McQueen.
It's not the,
It's the
like the real one?
the real one.
The real McCoy?
The real
Wow.
McCoy. The real McQueen. Boy, this cap is nasty. I might just dump this. I've got a cup of cold water here. We're just gonna take care of that. We're also going to check the end of this section here. See if I get anything come off on my towel. If I do, then maybe I might just stand it up on the... I got blue, but that's from the threads. Just for fun, let's just put that right there. Let's see what happens. Pretty thick ink that was on here. Hanani. Wait, did I get my times goofed up? Isn't Cardinal TV this afternoon? It is. So on Thursdays, at least for the summer, until we maybe decide, we've discussed maybe keeping it on Thursdays. But I'll typically stream repairs from 1 to 4 p.m. Central. I'm getting some ink and something coming off the barrel. And then Lisa gets off work circa 4 o'clock. And then we fire up about anywhere between 4:15 and 4:30. So today I'm going to guess it's going to be about 4:30. So I go from one stream to the other, basically. Captain, hello. What is cooking? Who's all going to San Francisco this weekend? I looked at Lisa the other day. Last night, I think it was. And I said, can you believe we used to drive to San Francisco from here? Like 28 hours. Not something I want to do again. Well, that filling unit is all, pellet cup is all kind of chewed up. It looks mostly okay. You want to do San Francisco, but the move and another upcoming trip to Alaska. Collect away some Alaska. Is that business or pleasure? Pleasure. Oh, okay. Well, that's all right then. Your partner's family is in Anchorage and Fairbanks. So it doesn't sound like it's the first time you've gone. What pen would you suggest as a fizz? Fizz? Fizz. Oh, we'll be the first. Oh, okay, cool. Never been. Ah, there we go. First gold nib pen. Pilot Custom 74 Vanishing Point Lamy 2000. Mint first starter pen. You know, it kind of depends on what line width you like. And I say that only because the Vanishing Point's a little different from all the rest. The Custom 74, I think, is really, really a great pen. You can't go wrong with the Custom 74. Vanishing Point is great. However, there's a wide variance between fine and medium. And while they do make a fine medium nib, they only make it in Japan. And the extra fine is really, really, really fine. Lamy 2000 is a great pen. However, it requires a little getting used to. If you're not used to writing with a hooded nib pen, and I'll probably die on this hill and get roasted for it more times than I can count. But when people say there's a sweet spot to the nib, I don't buy that statement. I believe the reason is because you can't see the nib as easily as you can on, say, a Custom 74 where the nib is open. So you can't align the nib properly because you don't know how. It's not much different than a Parker 51. I hated Parker 51s when I first started collecting. Like, I don't get why people are so excited about this. It's hard to write with, and it's in reality, it was just because I couldn't get the hang of writing with that nib. Because I couldn't see the actual nib. So when people say there's a sweet spot, well, I mean, I guess if you don't know how to hold the pen because you can't see the nib, well then yeah, I guess that's a definition of a. It doesn't mean that the nib is ground poorly. There we go. Just means that people have a hard time figuring out where to hold it so that it touches the paper. It's like any other pen. It's really weird to me. You must write differently, mainly because I'm looking down at the nib as I'm writing with the Lamy 2000. Yeah. I love the Vanishing Point. I'm a big fan of the Vanishing Point. But it also suffers sometimes the same fate, and some people do not like the placement of the clip. So you have to kind of look at that and determine if you want that. So of the three pens that you mentioned, the Custom 74 is probably the safest of the three. I would do 74 first, and then the Vanishing Point, and then the Lamy 2000. They're all great pens. Especially if you like medium or broad nibs, the Vanishing Point medium is really a great nib. I don't find the Vanishing Point broad to be all that much broader than the medium, and I do not like the stub in the Vanishing Point. I think the extra fine in the stub you should absolutely try before you buy. And when we had our retail shop open, I would not sell either of those two nibs unless you tried them before you walked out the door. They're not for everyone. And they just need to be, you need to understand how fine the extra fine is, But Custom 74 is real straightforward. In fact, I just listed, I was working on, I'm trying to get caught up. I've got a bunch of vintage pens that I'm listed on the site. And I just listed a Custom 67, which is a precursor to the 74, which is kind of a cool, if you're into, having something that nobody else has, the 67 is a pretty cool pen. The only difference is that particular pen has two cap band rings, and the engraving to denote Custom 67 is actually engraved into the plastic below the rings. It's pretty cool. It's kind of a subtle look, especially on the black pen. I think they also made it in burgundy. I was half tempted. I have had several of them over the years, and I've always wanted to keep one, and I was half tempted to keep this one, but I'll keep the next one that comes along, maybe. You prefer a fine point on your Diamond 580? Thoughts on Waterman, Karen, and Expert? So Karen, great pen. I have a couple. I think it's maybe the best pen that Waterman makes right now. It's stylish. I think I like it because it just doesn't look like a stick with the nib coming out of it. Yeah, I mean there's thought involved in the design. The barrel end is tapered. I mean, it's really, the integrated nib is beautiful. So I really like the pen. However, the nibs do have a tendency to run fatter. So a fine sometimes is, it's pushing a medium on other Japanese pens. So you kind of have to watch for that. And that's the only reason I like, it's like a kind of like a Pelican fine. Pelican's a little bit broader. That's why I like Pelican and Mont Blanc fines, because they write more like mediums, or closer to a medium, and less like a Japanese fine. If that makes sense. Expert. I haven't had a modern Expert in a while. I think they're fine pens. I think they're just kind of, unless you get them used, I think they're kind of pricey for what they are. They're a little bit girthier. So that might work to your advantage. And Carens do not come in, I don't know, but Experts probably not. They don't come in extra fine. The finest they come is fine. So it depends on the paper you use. It depends on, all those variables. I was tempted to buy another Karen this year. But I decided against it. I barely recognized this. It was black when we put it in there. Oh, I want that to happen. Okay. Thankfully, that diaphragm came out complete. It's always a good idea to check to make sure some previous repairman didn't just slap a new diaphragm in and not remove the other one. I mean, because, you know, that happens quite literally all the time. Often enough that it's worth looking. You had the opportunity to write with Carens in both fine and medium. Glad I did so. I know to look for a fine when I'm ready to add one. Beautiful pen. Love your expert. You know, and the other thing too is, you know, if you need an extra fine in that pen, then, you know, you get yourself the medium or the fine, and then you've got some room to have it ground. Let's take a look at this. I don't think this green is coming off. And I already tried looking for a different barrel, except these materials are really very hard to find one that's an exact match. If you have a cap and a barrel that match in color, this stuff evaporates pretty quick, so it won't be a problem. Now, if I didn't have a cap, then it, you know, or I guess if the barrel was bad or stuff, if, you know, I only had one piece, and you know, it is what it is. But this is going to be perfectly acceptable as a space filler. And I probably would not have sold it anyway. I wonder, let's try. What is meant by drawer wear on the pilot pen on the site? So drawer wear is a highly technical term for, imagine putting a pen in your drawer and letting it roll around. It's going to have like micro scratches. It's going to have the one I think you're referring to. It's got some plating loss to the trim because it's been used. The pen has been used. It's like literally of the group of pens that I got that in was the only one that was inked. And the rest of them were all basically new old stock salesman samples. But that one was used. And there's no, the only way to make it perfect would be to buff it, and I'm not going to do that. But the nib is great. Let's see if this does anything for us. No, not really. So yeah, imagine rolling it around in your drawer for 30 years. That's what that means. Well, let's see. I think this is really only on the surface. I'll try some microgloss, see if I can get a little green on the... A little bit. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit there. I think probably what's going to be the best option is, since this is my pen, I'm going to do a little bit of micro mesh to see if it... Yeah, I think that's better. Try a different side of the pad. Sometimes they get worn down. Yeah, it's getting better. Yeah, that's working. Yeah, it's coming off on the going like green on there. Normally I would go with the grain, but you can do that on subsequent passes. It's just easier to. All right. Looks much better. A little greener on the threads, but that's okay. Usually those get kind of black. Well, I'm going to dump this in here. Let's move back to the 51. I did like how this diaphragm snapped in place. Hmm. Hey, Colin, long day. I hear you. Every week I look forward to about 5 o'clock. Got some ink coming out of that breather hole there. What's up, Munchkin? Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Yes. Yep. Should be on the thing. All right. Thank you. Give some instruction. And I need to polish a pen before it gets photographed. Doing a garage sale tomorrow and Saturday. Prep work between working bursts today. Oh, you mean you're having a garage sale? Compared to a cross century or G2, how slim is the Pilot Slim on your site? Give me a minute and I'll show it to you. It doesn't even relate. Don't get thrown by slim. It's slimmer than the 67. I just got to polish this pen. Make it a little prettier. Okay, let me grab that pen. I'll show it to you. All right. So this is the 67 Slim. Or so this is the custom Slim. That's a cross century. Okay. This is the 67. Fuzzy, how you doing? Carmel, nice to see you. In relation to the 67, which is the same size as a 74, it is shorter and just a hair thinner. That makes sense? Like you can't put this cap on this pen. It doesn't. It's that much thinner. It's not terribly thinner, but it is. It's a number 3 nib instead of a number 5 nib. If you're familiar with the pilot nomenclature. Okay. That is that. But I got a Stargazer. Yeah, I think Stargazer had a number 3 nib. I got one of those around here somewhere. I think I have a Stargazer around here. You're trying to empty the house about 50% before it goes on the market in February. Oh, okay. All right, so I got a little bit of black in there. I bet you that'll come out. So Dr. G's is really getting its workout today. We'll see if we start to see some ink coming off, and I think I do. That'll clean it up nicely. And I think this is probably as good as it's gonna get here. Still need to find a section for this. Yeah. For this pen here. I might have one. Keep in mind, Slim is this pilot's name for it, so. Better. Yeah, it's a cool pen. It's actually, in my experience, it's not an easy pen to find if you're looking for it. A custom 67 is, I won't say difficult enough, but it's, it's not something you see every day. Well, it looks pretty good. But, I mean, this is the first custom Slim I've come across, and I've bought my fair share of pens from Japan. Looks like a great deal. I hope so. I hope I priced it right. Could be yours. I can ship it tomorrow. I literally just put it up today. I was a little surprised. I had it listed 2 weeks ago. A little surprised that somebody didn't bite on it, but is kind of a more unusual piece, and we got quite a bit of ink coming out of that collector there, you can see. But it's not coming off the side that I want it to come off of. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Start assembling these guys. All right, now the question is how well is this nib and feed going to go back together? Oh, that's why. It doesn't really. The nib is great, but what happens is it goes in so easily. You can see how easily I can push this in and how easily this goes through. I mean, I can literally get it down here. So what happens is I mean, this is completely ridiculous, right? Is the curvature gets compressed, which means this opens up. I should look for a new feed is what I should do. It's possible, in addition to the nib being a replacement, that they replaced the feed too, because it just doesn't. This pen wouldn't have had. It's too late to have had a lucky curve feed. I mean, this might be more work than is feasible for this pen for the client. So let's at least put this back together. Patty Cakes, hello. Brian and Humans. That's a good way to put it. I like that. We're all human. Some of us are just nicer than others. All right, so we're going to hold off on this guy. Hang on a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to put these pilots somewhere else so I don't bang them up. And if I get this done, I can get this pen photographed today, maybe. You're definitely 100% human. Actually, 99%. The other 1% is caffeine. I'm going to spin that cap out. Let's see how this is doing. It's a little bit better. Let's let that sit in there for a minute. I'm going to push it over to the side here. We can keep an eye on it and see if it... That's the problem. Once it starts getting cloudy, you can't really see how effective things are. Spin out this cap because it was... Still amazed at how much battery capacity is on this thing. I've charged it once and it's down to three bars out of 4. Now I'm not going to put, since I'm not going to put a sack in this, I'm just going to kind of clean this up. Is that an electric salad spinner? Does it help? Oh my heavens. It's life-changing. This is actually my third salad spinner. My first one had a handle that you rotated, and that was a gift to me from my friend David, who recently passed away. He had used it for 10 years, and then he got a bigger one, and he sent that one to me. And I used it until one day I accidentally dropped the lid and the handle broke. In my terrible attempt at fixing it, just made it worse. So I got another one, which was admittedly better, a little bit nicer quality, but it had one of these pump handles that you see a lot of, which is fine until you realize you have to do that all the time. Previously researches eBay, yeah. And then we stumbled on, and so we like to go to Home Goods and TJ Maxx, and one day we were there and we saw this. It's USB-C charging. So it's got a USB-C port. And you just press a button on the top and it spins. So you can kind of hard to see it all in one frame, but it's got a button on the top, and then it's got 3 lights, and then there's your charging port on the side. But then when you open it up, this one's got a top piece here. This center part is what hooks up to this and what spins it. And then I have a dollar store turkey baster that I cut off and then rounded up, smoothed off the edges, and then zip tied it to the bottom. I had to cut out a little spot here. But that's what I use. So I have my non-electric one as a backup. And on that one, I have a small pipette that is zip tied on there that is the size of, getting a little more ink coming out of there. That is a size that fits vanishing point nib units. I've been through here 100 times, and I doubt I have one that fits that's not already cracked and broken. That's the right size, but it doesn't fit this pen. Yeah, it's really, really very handy. I used to grab the pens really firmly in my hand, and then I'd shake them in the garbage can. Put my hand in front of it so that I could feel when it was getting dry, but this pretty much does it in 10 seconds. Now, I'm going to leave that. Add these two.
Okay.
Oh, well, that won't work. Well, you know, I don't think it is. This part is probably stained. But, I mean, this was black when it came out of the pen, so I think we're... And I did get some ink out of it. All right. Yeah, this spinner that I have, it took me a while to discover it, but it actually has a setting where if you just hit the button, it runs for like maybe 30 seconds, and then it stops when it's done. So I found that to be a really useful setting. Well, that was... I don't need open shots for any of those.
Oh,
Yeah, no open shots.
for none of them.
Yeah, no, none of them. Sorry,
Any of the pens you gave me that no opens?
none of the Esterbrook's.
Okay.
Are you like 3/4 of the way through?
Yeah.
Just delete them. I mean, you can keep them. Don't edit them. You'll be in for a real shock when you open that red one. All right. Let's see if this lines up. And then this guy... That does pretty good. There's a little bit of a chip out of the hood, but it's not bad. Make sure that's securely on. There we go. We got a cap in here. Nice thing about the salad spinners too is you can, if you're soaking a cap or something that maybe you wouldn't ordinarily soak, you can clip the cap on and spin it out, and it will get nice and clean. This is what I'm going to do to this guy. It just goes in like that. And the nice part about the crystal clear ones is when you turn it on, can't really see it, but you can see the water droplets, the water that's being spun out. See if that's enough. Hell yeah, physics. Sometimes it doesn't get, this one I find doesn't necessarily, like the other ones you can make really, if I pump it, I can make it go pretty fast. This one kind of has a maximum velocity, but it's going to get basically the majority of everything out. And then what little is left in there is evaporates. It is nice to clean it out every once in a while, though, which I'm terrible about doing. So that way you can see what's new and what's old and getting spun out. We got lucky and we found this one for 20 bucks at Home Goods, TJ Maxx. Unfortunately, it has a crack in the cap, and I've sort of fixed that. But they didn't have any others, so, and because they had a cardboard kind of a sleeve over the top with the brand and the features and benefits and all that stuff. So you couldn't see that it was cracked. But they go for about 60 bucks new on Amazon. It says 1945. But I mean, my wrist used to get really sore from shaking them into the garbage can. 45 4/4. because I do so many pens. I mean, if you only do a couple pens, I mean, do you need it? I don't know. You got room for it? I mean, they're big. They don't, they take up some space. But I wouldn't even if it doesn't go as fast as my other one, I would never get another. I mean, I will only ever buy a USB charge one. I mean, especially for pens like this here. Now this will be. Because 51s are a pain to clean. Not joking. I wonder how we got to USB salad spinner. Is there a salad spinner modding community? I guess for restaurants. Yeah. Well. This does a heck of a fill on one stroke. I find a little. Almost unsettling. I bet there's at least a tinkering community out there. I'm sure there's probably other people that use them for the same idea. But for non-pens. So just to give you an idea. So these are, like I say, these are notoriously hard to get completely clean. Let's see if I can hold this really close to the. I got to kind of hold it straight. So what you're going to be looking at is, you can see there's a line kind of right in this area toward the bottom. Where's the button? There it is. Let's see if we can see the. Oh, I can see it coming out on this side for sure. It's falling down toward the bottom here. So all these spots right here, there. Let's see if I I'd like for it to go a little faster, but it would require modding the engine, I guess, as it were. Let's see how dry it is inside. There's probably going to be a little bit of moisture in there, but it really gets like 90%, 95% of what's in there. So before I put this back on, I literally just dipped this in water to flush out any of the ink that was in it. And so there's a couple little, but this is dry. It's literally dry to the touch. So let's just see if there's any. Yeah, and there's nothing coming out of here. I mean, it literally sucked it all out. All right, that guy's done. I'll polish up that clip a little bit, maybe. All right, that one's good to go. Let's see, what time is it? 2:55. All right, I'm gonna clean these pens here real quick. These over. Just because they deserve to be cleaned. There's Dialog CC in blue. Aurora Optima in blue marble. We've got Edison Beaumont. And the Aurora of all Auroras, the 75th anniversary Optima. Let's get some fresh water. I'll be right back. Oh, you know what I need that I don't have is Lamy gives you a tool to screw in here to keep this end open so you can flush water through it. I'm going to drop this in the ultrasonic. Oof. Gonna do one revolution in my dirty ultrasonic here. Oof. This is the problem with piston fillers. Everybody wants, a piston filler, but they're just a pain to clean. I'm going to fill it with water. And it's going to go, got this little jig that I made. Aurora's over 100 now. Those multiple special colors a few years ago was for 100th, right? Could be, could be. I don't think this one's got any ink in it. This one has the Ohio 2025 special nib with the cardinal on it. That was kind of cute. I think I'm just going to soak this nib. Put it in there. I like to use the 2-cup method. Oh, there's ink in that converter. just the easier way. If you can take apart your converter, then it's there's a shocking amount of ink that will stay inside these converters, even if the barrel looks clean. A little grease on the head there. I like to put some on the threads on the inside here too. $19.19 for Aurora. Okay. This pen, let's see how dirty this is. This pen gets used, so I am sure this one is. The ink window is completely solid color. You can't see through it at all. This is one of only 2 pens I ever made installment plans on. Well, it's starting to come clean. I'm going to have to skip to my clear water now. Can't see the red. It's quickly changing this whole thing red. Keep it full. See how this one's doing. Ooh, we're getting a little clear there. A little syringe action. Geez, I probably forgot you gave these to me. Okay, so piston head is looking relatively clean. Gotta get rid of this water here. Well, always have water. Now, the problem with this is I believe this is too, it has too big of a barrel here that it doesn't fit in my salad spinner. Sadly. Now, we can just easily flush it out this way. It's nice that the Aurora nibs come out. Let's see. Let's get Get a bulb syringe. Where's my new one? No idea where my new bulb syringe went. This one will have to do. Yeah, that'll work. Well, this isn't going to work because obviously I can't get down in there. Looks clean. This one was hardly dirty at all. Yeah, that's good. Ultrasonic bulb syringe. Regular syringe and a salad spinner. Make really short work of this. This one I'm going to have to shake out by hand. Nice and clean now. Okay, that one's good. I gotta do this converter. See if we can get it apart first. These lobby converters are a pain to get open. They also did a redesign of the Z27 a number of years ago. After they switched from the Z25 or Z25. And they changed it, and it just doesn't. It's not the same. You can feel the herky-jerky kind of movement in it. shaking out my garbage can. And these do get a patina. That's a lovely patina on this door. And then this, you see it often on the butt end. In fact, we would get them fresh from the factory with patina on there, but this has turned a nice orange color. Would you say the Pilot Slim is close to the size of the Twisby Classic Mini I bought from you in a previous life? Maybe. I mean, it's not a terribly tiny pen, but it's not full size. I think Slim is, don't let Slim get in the way. It's just a shorter pen. Goes in there. But if you think that, Custom 74 is too big, then it's, that's the main point of reference, I guess, for that. I think I had the dimensions. It's 5 1/4 inches long capped. So, it's basically a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch shorter than most modern pens. All right, well, that was easy enough. Gary, how you doing? You're coming in just as I'm about ready to leave. You'll be proud of me, Gary. I Twitch crapped the bed. Oh yeah, I see that. My Twitch ad manager just decided to give up, huh? Although I got some people in the chat. I don't know what's going on. That's why I do it on both sides now. Gary, I actually caught up on the Vuelta from yesterday and watched the entire stage today live while I was doing other work. So, there's Lisa's pens. It's okay, you slept in. So, all right. Whoops. Ooh, hang on. Hit the wrong button. All right, so I'm going to cut out at this point. That's a good place to stop. Next week, I'll come up with something else. I got other pens to work on somewhere, I'm sure. Actually, I got a whole tray from DC. I haven't even started yet. I got some Storkels. I think there might be a Touchdown in there. A couple other pens. I'll see if I'm going to go any further with this Duofold. It's already going to be an expensive repair. If I had to, it's going to be, yeah. Good to hear I'm ahead of the game. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight when I get on the trainer. I won't have anything to watch. I got a TV series I'm watching, so I'll do that, I guess. But I discovered that since I got this huge new monitor, I can actually have all my work off to one side and then I can have the Welta over on the right. Is the cap cracked on the Duofold? It's got a little chip. It's got a little chip in the cap lip. It got sent to me for consignment, and I just don't. I mean, there's not much. There's not a whole lot of room in, after the repair, and now I got to possibly find a new feed for it that's slightly bigger. The nib is great. The nib looks great, but it goes in too far, so I need a slightly larger diameter feed, so it doesn't go in all the way, because it's going to crack the nib. I mean, it needs a new pressure bar. It needs help. It's a cool pen, but I don't know that it's going to generate enough revenue to cover the cost of repair and my fee for consignment. Junior, you had to glue a crack, shut, and refinish. Did I have another look at the Parker? I did not. I'll try to get to that tomorrow if that's okay. I'll have to get my parquets out. But, so. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Podcast today in about an hour or so. We'll see what's cooking there. I got to get ready for that. And then we'll be back here on the stream hopefully on Monday. I should be caught up here at the shop. Tomorrow will be a strong work day. I get all my ink samples done, and I got a couple more shelves coming, so we're going to put those together, and then we'll go from there. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I do appreciate it. If I don't see you in the podcast, have a good rest of your afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch you next time. All right? Take care, everyone. Bye now.